Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica. Today we're doing my makeup inventory. It is my yearly makeup inventory. If you've been watching my channel, and also this is just numbers, so you're not going to be seeing any products or anything like that. I do have makeup collection videos if you want to go ahead and watch that. Every year I do a makeup inventory and it's been the same. I've kind of counted my products the same the last 4 years. I also had goals that I wanted to reach with these inventories. Some of them were basically impossible to get to unless I was decluttering things or throwing things out, and some of them were more reachable. I am on a Project 50 pan no buy, so basically I'm trying to use up 50 products to go ahead and then I can go ahead and buy one thing that's in a inflated category. So yeah, however, there's been things going on. So with the pandemic, I feel like I've told this story like a million times, but with the pandemic, I was basically in flux in terms of like where I was living for a minute there. I was finishing up school in San Francisco and then schools got shut down, so I came back home to be with my family during, while everything was going to be online. And so I, brought a handful of things, and then I ended up moving from San Francisco back down to family because, lease was up and I wasn't going to be living up there anymore. And, I graduated school, and so that was done. So in that time period, makeup was in 2 different spots. I brought like obviously the things that I was like using, a couple of other things, and that was about it with me. Obviously that time period lasted a lot longer than I was thinking, blah, 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 all these different things. Basically what happened is while I was down here, I didn't like buy anything. However, my mom has a bigger stash as well. She let me shop her stash. I basically went into her stash and was like, hey, can I have this and this and this and this and this? And she was very kind to be like, yeah. So I kind of like took on some things from her, which she wasn't using. So it's one of those things where mainly my biggest like thing with all of this is trying to condense waste. And so I feel like I'm hopefully helping with that, because I know I will use these. And so yeah, basically I took on some things. So my numbers have grown because of that. On top of that, while I was like taking on these things, I had this weird like identity crisis, which if you've seen my last Project 50 pan going on, I think I explained it. I may have cut it all out. I tend to do that. Sometimes I like will ramble on about something and then I end up cutting everything out and I can't remember what I did. But I'm not sure when this is going up, if it's going up before or after. Anywho, it might be in there. But yeah, basically whenever in that like influx, I had a bag of makeup that I brought with me that I was like, oh, I'll have this in case I want to like play with my makeup and not just do my Project Pan items. And then all of a sudden I realized I was like, wow, I'm missing my Becca Champagne Pop. Wow, I'm missing my Cream Cup lipstick from MAC. Wow, I'm missing like a couple of different things. And I like couldn't figure out what it was. Like once I moved all my makeup back to here, moved away from San Francisco. And then deep cleaning the bathroom the other day, found a makeup bag that had all my missing makeup, and I was like, I mean, it's a good thing because I was like, oh, these were like my favorite items that I was like missing, and I don't know where my head was. Obviously, things were going wild with like, especially in the thrust of the pandemic, everything was like very scary there for a minute. But makeup was not really on my mind. Yeah, I basically have more than I was like expecting, and I actually had just found those items that I was missing for like right before I took this inventory. So I was like, oh, I have even more than I was like expecting to have. Really long explanation. Sorry about that, but let's get into the numbers. I'm going to talk about what I had last year and what I have this year. On top of that, this is going to be a longer video because I'm also going to go ahead and talk about how I'm redoing my numbers now, and then I'll go through those numbers. However, that list is going to be a lot shorter because it's going to be a lot more simplified. At least fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm gonna try. I have this written down now. Like the new stuff is gonna be digitally. So what I'm gonna do is I'll hopefully take a picture of this and like it'll either be on the screen or somewhere or like whatever, so you can kind of follow along, because I know like it's really hard to follow along, at least for me, to like when people are just spouting out numbers. I'm just like, what? Like I don't know, I can't keep track. But basically, I think I'm also going to go ahead and tell you the number that I had in the beginning. So in 2017 to 2020 as well, because I think that overall trend of things going down will hopefully help me feel a little bit more satisfied. But yeah. So first things first I have is my polishes. So in 2017, I had 68 polishes. 2019, I had 57, and now I have 50. So that's pretty good. Primers, I had 4, and then in 2017, I had 4. In 2019, I had 2. 2020, I had 2. Now, primers was another thing that I didn't buy the extra primers or anything. I did get some from my mom, and it was one of those things where I like ran out while I was down here. And then I was like, hey, Mom, do you have any primers? She was like, here, yeah. And lo and behold, in that little bag, that magic bag, I had actually packed an extra primer because I knew I was low. Because I was like smart when I was packing, but then dumb when I was like trying to figure out where everything was. So I don't know. But yeah, so now I have 4 again. Primer is really not that big of a deal. I feel like I can move through them fairly quickly. Foundations, I had 3 in 2017, 2 in 2019, and now I have 4. However, one of them's like, I think I have tomorrow left and then I'm done. But I'm also trying to switch foundations right now, going from my IT Cosmetics because it's just too dark for me. And then also like I want to support Fenty, so I'm trying out that one. I had to buy a couple shades because I wasn't really sure. Whatever, we're good. Concealers, I had 2 in 2017, I had 1 in 2019, and I have 4. 4 now? Oh yeah, I think I'm counting my concealer palette. I feel like that number's off, but maybe I have 4. Usually I use the same concealer and maybe I'll buy 2 for backup, but that's interesting. Okay, and then I have powders. Powders, I had 3 in 2017. 2019, I had 2, and then today I have 3. Brows, I had 6 products in 2017. In 2019, I had 3, and then today I have 6 again. Again, one of those things that I took on from my mom. And then blush, in 2017, I had 8. In 2019, I had 8. And in 2020, I have 11. Bronzers, I had 7 in 2019, or in 2017. I had in 2019, I had 4. And this year, again, I have 4. Highlighters, I had 8 in 2017, 6 in 2019, and then this year I have 9. Face palettes, I had 8 in 2017, 9 in 2019, and then 8 again in 2020. Eye primers, I had 4 in 17, 1 in 2019, and then 2 this year. Mascaras, I had 3, and then 4, and now 6. And eyeliners, I had 12, and then 5, and now 8. Single eyeshadows, I had 27, and then I had 21, and now I have 24. And pigments, I had 24, and then 19, and now 17. Eyeshadow palettes, 35, and then 33, and now 31. And then I had lip primers on it in 2017, but since 2017, I haven't had lip primers, so I'm just gonna nix that category. Lip liners, I had 17, and then 14, and now I have 12. Lip gloss, I had 11, and then 8, and now I have 8. Although I think that number has changed. Also, let me just say, I believe I took this, I didn't even write it down. I believe I took this on October 7th. So even though this is going up definitely a lot later, it's a little bit different. For liquid lipsticks, I had 15 in 2017. In 2019, I had 6, and now I have 3. Lipsticks, I had 41, then 32, and now I have 29. And setting sprays, I had 2, and now I have 3. It's interesting because I was like kind of looking at this. It was like, well, a lot of these categories I went up with, even though I'm on a no buy. But again, it was one of those things where some things were in some places, other things were in other places, and I ran out of things. I asked for things. I did bring on things that were like, quote unquote, like gifts, not actually buying them. Gifts, kind of, I guess. I mean, I asked for them, so I mean, they weren't necessarily, my mom wasn't like, I'm not using these, have them. It was like, can I have this? So yeah, it was a willing gift, I guess. I think what I should say is my biggest categories, my biggest problems, nail polish, lipsticks, eyeshadow palettes, all my eyeshadows basically have all gone down, which I'm really proud of. So that's good because I think I have so much that I'm like, I don't want to add any more things. Like, I feel like there's not enough room for wiggle room. Whereas with blushes, I feel like I have been able to kind of, blushes have grown. Yeah, blushes have grown. Blushes, highlighters, bronzers, I do feel like I can, maybe not bronzers, blushes and highlights for sure. I feel like I can kind of like wiggle a little bit more because I feel like I can use those things up a bit faster than eyeshadow palettes and lipsticks and polishes. Yeah, I use those faster, and so I don't know. I feel like I had a little bit more wiggle room. So I am strategic on the things that I've taken from my mom in those areas. I haven't taken on a bunch of like eyeshadow palettes. Those are the numbers. Let me go ahead and open up my laptop. I'll open up to do my new makeup inventory. And so basically, like before when I was like, oh, concealers, I feel like that's wrong. Maybe I'm counting my concealer palette in that. There's a reason why I have those. I'm like, what? Wait, what? How did I count this again? Blah, blah, blah. So now I'm going to do like all my face palettes. Like I'll just take the individual item and tell you how much I have. Like eyeshadows are individual eyeshadow pans in every single palette, and that's how I'm counting it. I feel like one, it's going to be less confusing in terms of how I'm going to be categorizing things. And then also it'll be exciting for me whenever I use up a whole eyeshadow or hit pan in an eyeshadow in a palette. It'll be like more incentive because it's still going to be counting, like it'll still be me using something up. So basically what I'm trying to do is like be able to pan an 35 pan eyeshadow palette, like pan one single shadow in there and feel excited that like I've panned something, that I've gotten something out of my inventory. Sorry, I'm really stuttering over my words now. So yeah. Oh, I do have a date now. That was October 3rd that I actually took this inventory. So yeah. Yep. So that's that. Let's re-go over these numbers as to how I'm going to be doing things from now on. As far as I know, I'm also not going to have any goals because I also had goal numbers originally next to my numbers, and now I'm not going to do that. I feel like I don't need it. I know I have too many eyeshadows and lipsticks and things like that, and I can just work those out of things. I mean, I think I will have like my own goals in the back of my mind, but I don't need to state out certain numbers because like right now I'm having issues with my foundation. So I need to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room to figure out like, okay, what's my now new go-to foundation? I need to figure that out. So with that, I need to like be able to buy a little bit more to mix things, or be able to buy the wrong color and like mix things and things like that. So for nail polishes, still have 50, nothing changed there. Face primers, again, 4, foundation 4, concealers 7. And again, I know it seems like a lot. I'm buying like one type of concealer, like actual concealer, and the rest are kind of like color correcting concealers. So I'm counting them all together in one category, including like I have a face palette that has like 3 different concealers in it, or 3 different color correcting things in it. So though they do different things, they're all counted together. Powders, I have 4. Brow products, I have 8. Blushes, I have 28, which is way too much. That I know for sure that is too much. And again, I have like a bunch of face palettes that like have multiple blushes in it, and that's why that number is so big. Bronzers, I have 8. Highlighters, I have 15, too much for sure. Eye primers, I have 2. Mascaras, 6. Eyeliners, 8. Eyeshadows, you ready? 418. I know that's a lot less than a lot of other people, but for me, for my personal like opinion, the way I do my makeup, the way I pan makeup and use makeup so freaking slowly, it's way too much for sure. And then lip liner, I have 12. Lip gloss, 8. Lipstick, 38. Setting sprays, 3. And my total number of everything in there is going to be 617. Now, I kind of was like, yeah, I'm not going to set goals, but I think I want to try and aim to finish up certain things, mainly in those big categories. I feel like with blushes, maybe I can do -2 this upcoming year. I know personally, like right now, I'm basically almost using up 2 anyways. So I feel like, or maybe should we up it? Maybe we'll do -3. Maybe that'll be my goal for next get rid of 3 blushes. For bronzers, I mean, I think I'm going to do a -1 because right now the one that I'm working on is like really big. It's my Sweet Tea palette or bronzer. So yeah, it's this big. Do you want to see it? I have pan in it, like officially. Here's a little sneak peek right there, officially pan in it. I did have it up here, but I was kind of like, no, that's not pan. That's not real pan. But that one, that's for sure real pan. That's undeniable. Or plate or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, okay, sorry. Highlighters, right now I have 15. Let's do a goal of -1. Well, let's do -3 because I have 2 that I'm working. I have like technically, I believe 3 in a project right now. Eyeshadows, maybe -18 because if I can just get to 400, that would be pretty cool. Don't think I can do it. I don't think -18 is gonna happen, but there we go. However, I do have some really small pans, so maybe that can happen. And like, I have a lot of like liquid shadows and cream shadows that hopefully can be moved out quickly, but we'll see. Lip gloss, maybe -2, or not, definitely -2. By next year, we're talking a whole year from now. Let's do because I have 2 minis for sure. Let's do -3, depending on what my next one is gonna be. Lipsticks, for sure, let's do -2. I had 38, so we'll do -2. I'd like that to be more, but I don't think I can get it any more than that. So altogether, let's do my total for next year to try and get things down. I have a total of 617 products. Oh, and my polishes also, let's also set a goal for polishes. So let's do -5. So that's 45. Altogether, that's -35 products. But I have an influx of brows right now. I have too much, I can hopefully get more than 1 primer out. Mascaras are too much right now. So let's do -40. Let's try and get for next year, when I come back, hopefully I have -40 products, which means my total products will be 577. And again, that's not necessarily like products, like, this isn't counted as a product anymore, 1 product, this is counted as 9 products. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that'll be -40. That would be hopefully really, really cool. And I mean, hopefully I won't have as many concealers, I'll be using the color correcting things. Hopefully my foundation will be nailed by then and I will know exactly which one I want to be using from now on. I mean, I think that hopefully that's doable. I know I was just like, I don't want to set goals, but I don't think that these are like hopeful goals and not like, I need to get this done or else sort of thing, I think that this will be helpful because even so, after this Project 50 pan, I am hoping to go ahead and I will be doing a Project 100 pan, but it will be using this new system and not just, as soon as all 9 of these like products are done, that's counted as one thing right now. What it will be doing is like, once this is done, then that's going to be 1 product down. Once all of these are done, it'll be 9 products down. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a little bit more attainable, even though it has a bigger number, which, seems more exciting. Hopefully incentivize me to keep going and celebrate the smaller things in life. And yeah, we'll see. Let me know. Apologies for how long, rambly and all that, but this is a major check-in. And I kind of was anticipating this because I knew I was kind of rebooting like how I was doing my inventory and all of that. And I feel like I had a lot to say, which is wild. What's really been interesting this year with my no-buy especially and the pandemic, I'm sure everyone kind of like has figured this out as well, is certain things just don't matter as much anymore. Yeah, like makeup is just like, I have less like rules on myself, like things were up in the air. There were things that I couldn't control, so I was like, okay, well then let me like, if I need a primer, I'm just gonna go get a primer and like not suffer without one or something. My gosh. That's that. Let me know what you all think. Let me know how your inventories are going. I always love these as well because I know that there are people out there who will then leave me their inventory numbers, and I love hearing that, especially seeing, where other people's numbers are and how satisfied they are, because I know there are people who, I know I have like 617 products in my collection. And though I'm like, that's too much, I know for other people, they have like 2,000 or more, and they're like, you know, I'm satisfied with that. And I think that hearing those numbers and hearing where we want, because we all have different goals and needs and lifestyles and all of that. So yeah, I love hearing the range of numbers as well. And your feelings on them and all of that, and how your no buys, low buys, project panning, etc, all of it are going. So yeah, have a good day. Yeah.